All right, good evening. I'd like to welcome all of you to our Storm Athletics event tonight, where we will talk a little bit about our overview of Storm Athletics. Here's who will all join us tonight. My name's Jeremy Johnson. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions. We also have Emily Radke, who will be monitoring the chat. She's also in our admissions office, Assistant Director. Marty Bell, our Athletic Director, will be joining us. Brandon Stromer, who is our Assistant Men's Basketball Coach and Compliance Coordinator. Cal Busby, the Director of Athletic Training, and then Kate Cronrarty, who's part of our strength and conditioning staff. We will also have a couple students that will join us, giving themselves a little bit of student perspective tonight. Anytime during the program tonight, like I said, if you have a question, feel free to put it in our chat. At the end, we will try to get to all of your questions. So just a little bit about Simpson College. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar. We're located in Indianola, Iowa, just 12 miles south of Des Moines. And I think that's one of the best, probably the best selling points we have as a school is obviously being close to a large city, a large metro area. You're going to find that our students are able to get a lot of experience when it comes to internships, job explorations, just hands-on experience. We do have an excellent internship program. I know being an alum from Simpson, while I was here, I did 3 different internships while I was at Simpson. We do have 1,200 full-time students. We also have some part-time students. You will find almost 95, 96% of our students live on campus. So we're a very residential campus, 12-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio. You're going to have those intimate one-on-one, be able to have that one-on-one discussion with your professor. You're not just a number here, you're definitely a name where you can go in and talk with a professor whenever you have a question. If you have a question about a class or maybe even about a possible internship, you're going to find our small class settings definitely provide it possible for students to get that one-on-one experience. We have over 80 majors and minors and pre-professional programs. You will find that almost half of our incoming freshmen every year are still undecided on majors. And I usually tell high school students, you know, their junior, senior year, you don't have to know what you want to major in. I know coming to Simpson as a student, I was interested in broadcasting. I actually changed my major 2 or 3 different times while I was at Simpson. So you have a lot of opportunity to really explore different areas. Most students are going to declare their major usually into their freshman year, middle of their sophomore year. So you can really use that first year, year and a half to explore a lot of different opportunities. And obviously, you know, the main thing we try to do is what we want to do is make sure students are going to have a great opportunity after college, you know, with a job. 99% of our graduates are either employed or in graduate school 6 months after graduation. And you will find a lot of students will have a job waiting for them when they graduate. It's very important for us. Obviously, we want you to graduate in 4 years, but we also want you to get that great employment opportunity. As far as cost at Simpson, you'll find 100% of our full-time students receive some sort of financial aid, merit-based aid, need-based aid. Our goal as an institution is hopefully we can make it affordable. So at the end of the day, when you start looking at your colleges, hopefully it doesn't have to come down to the money. We offer some great academic scholarships for students. And also there's some need-based scholarship opportunities. A lot of students, you know, definitely need to go through that whole financial aid process to find out if Simpson is possible for them. So what should you do next? I know we have freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors on tonight's call. Obviously, if you're a senior right now, definitely want to be applying. Make sure you get your application out if you haven't already. Our application is very simple. You can do it online, either through our website or you can do it through the Common App. But once you apply, you're going to want to have your high school transcript sent. We also are test optional. So obviously, if you've taken the ACT or SAT scores, we would love to see them. But I tell students, maybe you've taken the ACT and you're not comfortable with your score and you feel like your high school transcripts maybe speak a little bit more for you as far as your academic credentials. You can apply test optional and have your high school transcript sent to us. It'll be sent to the admissions committee, and then they usually will have a decision within a week or 2 on your acceptance. Visit campus. Sophomores, juniors, seniors, even freshmen, now's the time to get on campus. We like to do personalized on-campus visits. We do obviously offer some virtual visits, especially during these times. Group visits, we actually have 2 Explore Simpson Days coming up, April 9th and April 16th. That's a great opportunity for underclassmen to come and see campus, kind of get that first look at campus. But at the end of the day, I always think that personalized visit is the best opportunity because you can sit down with a professor, sit in with a coach, talk with them, get an individual tour of campus. Also check our website. We have a lot of opportunities as far as not only academics and majors, which I talked about earlier, but also just activities on campus. There's a lot of opportunities for students really to explore everything that we're going to offer them. And then, sophomores, juniors, starting your research, trying to figure out what you're looking for in a college. I think that's why it's kind of key to really get on campus and start seeing, okay, what schools do I want to focus on my senior year when I start looking at colleges. The last thing I would mention to students, connect with us on social media, really to get the most up-to-date information. Follow us on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. You're going to find all of our virtual group events that we do. We also post on our YouTube. So it's a great opportunity to go back and look at some of our past academic explore events, just things we talked about. And then obviously using hashtag #OneSimpson. But that's really the best thing to do is follow us on the different social media platforms. So now you're probably ready to hear about Storm Athletics. I know that's the reason most of you are jumping on tonight. So I want to turn it over to Marty Bell, who's our athletic director, so he can talk a little bit about Simpson athletics in general. Marty?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. As you all know, my name is Marty Bell. I am the director of athletics. I am a freshman, so to speak, at Simpson. I just started my job here in January. Was the former athletic director at Quincy University in Illinois and was an assistant basketball coach at Drake. So I spent my entire adult life in intercollegiate athletics. And I can tell you that coming to Simpson has been incredibly rewarding in my first couple of months on the job. For all of you who don't know, Simpson is an NCAA Division III institution. And we participate in the American Rivers Conference, which is a very, very competitive, one of the best D3 conferences, certainly in the region, if not across the country, top to bottom. And what I mean by that is in every sport, we are highly competitive and always well represented in the national tournaments. So even though COVID has disrupted some of that a bit, we are still offering championships in our conference level, as well as certain sports in the NCAA level. We have 19 sports that we sponsored, 10 on the men's side, 9 on the women's side. And I think for you all, you're all going through the formulating your ideas about what you want to do in college. And being a student athlete is a rewarding and it's a tremendous opportunity, a very rewarding experience, but it does take a level of commitment. And I think as you start to develop your thoughts on attending college, really thinking about what it is you want to do and how athletics becomes a part of that. Athletics can really springboard you in the educational process outside the classroom, which I think is incredibly important. When you go to college, you're looking for an experience. You're going to have an experience in the classroom and you're going to have one outside the classroom. And athletics is a tremendous way to educate yourself and prepare you for life beyond college. Through all the things that you'll experience. We have phenomenal coaches, great coaches with a high character, deeply passionate and have great concern for the student athletes. So I think coming to Simpson, you'll never take a back seat to anything. The coaches, you will be their number one priority. I think one of the things that is always a challenge for students coming out of high school and entering to college is, if you think about your own experience and you were a very good player on your team, when you come to college, though, regardless of what level, you're going to be looking to your left and right at a good player from that team, wherever they came from. So it's much more competitive, obviously, to play against other college teams. It's also much more competitive within your team. So I think doing a good job of evaluating the fit and where you see an opportunity to play and be a good fit is important in the decision-making process. One of the things I think that we all can be proud of here at Simpson is we don't put athletics ahead of academics. Academics will always come first. We prioritize that in a way that our student athletes' GPAs are actually higher than the general student body. We are very sensitive to missed class time. We minimize that. Academics will always come first. And so I think Coach Stromer is going to talk a little bit more about that in detail when I get to him, but I'm going to leave most of that for him. One of the other things I think is important when you're looking into college is, where am I going to play? What are the facilities like? I know I'm going to get to meet the coaches. I'm going to have a great academic experience. But what kind of facilities are we looking at? And I can tell you that Simpson has very, very good athletic facilities, and I've been around a long time and I've seen a lot of places. However, one of the reasons that I am here is to take our existing facilities and enhance them over the next few years. So coming to Simpson, you're getting on the ground floor some very, very good upgrades and very good things that are going to be happening for our athletic department. Things that I've accomplished at other schools that I plan to bring to the table here. But I think when you're looking at a school, you want to make sure you have areas of support that are really important for your academic and athletic experience. And I think here, academically, you'll always get as much academic support as you need. I don't think that we struggle with that. Matter of fact, I think if we did a statistic, we probably lead the conference in academic support for our student athletes. Sports medicine, if you're unfortunate and do have an injury, we have a great sports medicine staff, great team physicians, as well, to make sure that we minimize your downtime due to injury and get you back out on the field or court as soon as possible. And then I think one way to alleviate a lot of those instances for injury is we have a dedicated strength and conditioning staff here. One of our coaches is going to speak with you a little bit later, but we did not have that at Quincy University, and that was a Division II school. So I can tell you, Simpson is way ahead of the game when it comes to having a dedicated strength and conditioning program for student athletes. That's in addition to all the things your coaches will do with you should you make Simpson your choice. So that's all I have. Just wanted to give you that overview. Thrilled that you're considering us and jumped on the call tonight. And now Brandon Stromer is going to take you through the next segment. He is our assistant men's basketball coach. Brandon, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Marty. And again, we are welcome, and we are lucky to have you running our department. We're really lucky that. So fortunate to have you. Academically, right now you're thinking, who is this guy who's going to talk about academics? Kind of boring, but you understand how important academics are, especially with athletics. And really with Simpson, the first thing that comes to mind with athletic or with academics is the support you will have here. And Marty touched on it a little bit. I've been at schools before where we had one lady in a room upstairs that just handed out books and that was it. Here we have an entire library, first floor of the library, of people, full-time faculty here to help you for your academic needs, whether you're dyslexic, whether you maybe don't take tests quite as well. Maybe you just need somebody, maybe you need a tutor. They have all kinds of people that are in your corner. Unlike a large state school or a bigger school, you're just a number. I hate to say it, but you're just a number there for a lot of these places. Here at Simpson, they care about your success, both on the court, on the field, on and off the field, on and off the court, whatever it might be, but they care about your success and they want you to succeed. We talk about tutors. A lot of times we struggle getting kids to go to tutors because let's think about this. If you have a tutor, well, I must be dumb if I'm going to a tutor. I always tell our athletes, think of a tutor like going to a basketball camp or a football camp. You don't go to football camp just because you are a bad player. You go to football camp because in the summer because you want to get better. Same kind of thing. You might be at a B+ in a class and maybe I want to get an A-. Go to a tutor and you'll get that goal. Not just a D or F to get it up. You could be a B, C range, want to get a higher grade, and tutors there to help you. So again, the main point is people want you to succeed here, and that's a huge asset to Simpson. We have team study table hours. Every coach, every sport is different. The average athletic department study table hour is 5 hours per week. Men's basketball, for example, Coach Bell said I was basketball. We do 8 hours per week. Now, the 8 hours per week might seem like a lot, but think about how many days are in a week. 7. So a little bit over an hour a day you're studying for that study table. You should be studying about twice that to really succeed here. So really when it comes to academics, Simpson, as a degree at Simpson holds some value, holds a lot of merit. So again, it's not just when you're picking a school, it's not just about going to pick a school where you want to win championships, you want to win 4 league titles, do all that, have a great athletic career, but at the same time, we want to set you up for life after college, get you set up for your first career job. And I think Simpson does a great job, second to none, as far as between internships, academic support, coaches in your corner. If you want to play sports here, coaches in your corner that want to help you succeed. You try and you find me an employer who doesn't want to hire that athlete who has a 3.5 to 4.0, who can juggle academics, life, and athletics and still succeed with a high GPA. Every employer you can think of will want to hire that student athlete. So again, the life lessons you will learn, the brothers and sisters of your athletes on your teams that you're going to have, it's going to be experience second to none. So again, and like Jeremy, like Marty said, the proximity to Des Moines, it really sets us apart because the internships, a lot of times, a lot of college graduates, the biggest thing they fight is, I don't really have a resume built. You graduate, you might graduate with honors, but I don't have a resume built. Well, with internships, you can have 2 or 3 internships before you graduate, really build that resume, get those experiences to really help you get that first job out of college. It's not uncommon. We've had men's basketball players, the fall before they play their senior year. They have a whole senior year to play, and they say, Coach Stroh, can I use your office? Well, yeah, sure, why? Well, I got to call my internship boss back from the summer. Okay. He'll come out of my office and say, look, white as a ghost, go, wow, I just got offered a $65,000 job right away. I still have my whole senior season to play. That's cool. He just offered me a job and I accepted it. I mean, talk about enjoying your senior year, knowing you already know what you're going to do and have a full-time career set up after college already. That's what it's about. The athletic experience, the college experience, and getting you set up for your full-time job after college and hitting the ground running. So again, academically, great school with a degree that holds some merit. But again, the biggest thing is people here want you to succeed academically. No matter what you might have a learning deficiency, whatever that might be, that does not mean you cannot succeed at Simpson because people do care about you. But again, feel free to ask me any questions regarding the academics part of it. Again, I'm also compliant. So if you think about something compliance-wise, academic-wise, even as a coach here, feel free to give me a shout, okay? That's all I have. Now we'll introduce Cal Busby, Director of our Athletic Training and Sports Science.
All right, thanks, Coach Stroh. As Brandon said, my name's Cal Busby. I'm one of the athletic trainers here on staff. I also teach within the Sports Science and Health Education program. I am a Simpson alum, so I can definitely speak on that Simpson success and how that degree sets you up for a lot of different avenues in life and continues to support you throughout. If there's also any questions on the academic side, I teach a wide variety of classes and have a lot of advisees, and so I can kind of help answer any questions we have on the academic side as well. But from a sports medicine approach, in my 12 years that I've been a staff member at Simpson Colleges, the number one thing is, again, we care about you not just as a patient, but as a person. And so we're going to look at you. We're going to treat each case individually. We're going to make sure that you're having direct access to the care and that we are taking care of injuries as soon as they happen. And everybody on this call that is involved with athletics know that an injury is often a reality. It's something that you're going to face. And it's really our job in sports medicine to manage and mediate and make sure that injury, that couple day injury doesn't turn into a couple month injury. And so we want to make sure that you have direct access to care. Because of our proximity to Des Moines, we work with some of the Midwest and probably some of the nation's finest orthopedic surgeons through Des Moines Orthopedic Surgery Center. We have a team doctor who comes down every week to look at cases that we have. They're able to schedule our athletes first. We have all their cell phone numbers. We have all their direct contacts. So if in the event that you do have an injury that needs to be seen, we make a call, we get things taken care of right away. With that, we have an orthopedic surgeon. We also have a general physician who comes down once a week. We're able to have access to a team chiropractor. We have a physical therapy staff that we work with, so we can send those students on to Athletico, and we use them for physical therapy. We have access to dry needling, acupuncture. We do a lot of Graston, A-stem, so all of those cutting edge approaches that you see, at the Division I level. We're able to bring them and we use them on a daily basis for our athletes. Again, it's really all about getting you what you need. Ideally, you never see us. You come and you get water, you get tape, and you see us before and after practice, and we're just kind of in the background. But when you need us, we are there, whether it be an illness, a sickness, an injury, whatever it is. We're there to help you and to make sure that you are, number one, out on the field and competing and having a great experience. So with that, We work with coaches. We work with different medical providers around, whether it be your medical providers or our network. But we're going to make sure that we communicate and get you taken care of and get you back to 100% as quick as we can. Next up, I believe we have Craig Conradi. We work very closely with the strength and conditioning staff. As Marty said at the beginning, one of the best ways to avoid injury is through strength and conditioning. And so Craig and I talk all the time. We bounce ideas off of each other. We talk about different training methods and different approaches. And so Craig and his staff do a great job with preparing the body for the rigors of the season. And a lot of our approaches go hand in hand. So I'll turn it over to him now.
Thanks, Cal. Like Cal said, my name is Craig Conradi, Director of Strength and Conditioning at Simpson. And as you can see over my head, is like Marty touched on earlier, is we have great facilities. Is you can see our weight room right there. Is we have 15 racks, and those windows along the top side, those are actually overlooking our beautiful football fields, soccer fields, everything like that. So it's state of the art. It's one of the best in the Division III, but also the country as well. So my background, I have worked with many different athletes, many types of athletes, from Division I to high school to younger kids to some professional athletes. So I've been around the block and always trying to bring the best possible strength and conditioning I can to you. Like Cal said, is we work hand in hand a lot. Is if I can keep you from seeing Cal, that is the best possible scenario. Is that means you're healthy, you're able to succeed on the field, everything like that. Is in an instance where you do have to see Cal or our athletic trainers, I speak with them daily, figure out what the injury is, what I can do to get you in the weight room, what you can and can't do to rehab that injury, or, hey, how do we reduce the likelihood of that injury happening again? Everything like that. Is even with this COVID year and everything that has happened, lack of training, lack of practicing, everything like that, I think all our coaches and athletic trainers will agree we have done a very good job this year of reducing the likelihood of injuries and reducing major injuries. Next thing I want to touch on, technology. Is our main technology that we use at Simpson is it's called Team Builder. It is an app that brings your workout directly on your phone. There's no more pen and paper or anything like that. Is your workout comes directly to your phone. When I put up a workout, it is immediately on your phone. You'll get an email saying, Craig has updated your workout. Take a look. It tracks your history. So over your 4 years, you can look back and see what you did as a freshman and what you're doing as a senior. It tracks your history. It can track your maxes. It tracks what you did last week. Everything like that. It's clear cut, and it even has videos. So if you don't know what we're doing, I'm working with Cal right now as we are in the process of incorporating force plate technology for injury purposes. If you were to get injured, we have pre-data to tell us, hey, this is what you were when you were healthy. But it's also a way as a testing metric as well. Is basketball with Coach Stroh is figuring out vertical jumps, rate of force development, stuff like that. And I'm in the process of experimenting with velocity-based training, seeing how fast we can move the barbell. All this stuff is stuff you will see, like Coach Stroh and Cal have said, at the Division I level. Is we're bringing it to you at the Division III level. Is we believe you guys need to have access to that stuff to be the best possible athletes there is, everything like that. And I already touched on facilities a little bit, but 15 racks in our weight room, 40 yards of turf, 2 different barbells at each rack, 8 trap bars, and in the process of trying to get more equipment to help you guys be able to succeed the best you can. I believe I'm now handing this back over to Jeremy Johnson, who will introduce our students.
Thanks, Craig. I can take it over from here. Actually, we're going to have 2 students tonight that were going to join us, but Mac Roush, he actually sent me a text, and he's still kind of tied up with track and field workouts. And then Cassie Nash, who actually is both women's soccer and women's basketball. I know Marty just came from the women's soccer game, was watching it. How'd the game go?
Good. We won 7-0. So
okay,
nice.
So big challenge
Cassie,
there, huh?
did you get the hat trick?
I did not. I ended with 2.
Okay.
Hey, Cassie, I want to just turn it over to you quick. If you want to talk a little bit about, introduce yourself, where you're from, maybe things you're involved in here at Simpson, and just kind of talk a little bit about your student athletic experience here at Simpson.
Okay, so I'm Cassie Nash. I'm a sophomore from Lincoln, Nebraska, so about a 3-hour drive. I am majoring in sports administration and multimedia journalism. I'm involved in FCA, which is Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and Storm Speaks, which is like athletes for mental health. And I guess like coming to my freshman year, I thought it was going to be like hard adjusting to like being a college athlete and balancing academics, but your freshman year you are required like study table hours, so you have to get 5 a week, which was really nice having to actually clock those hours, so you kind of get on a schedule that helps you with the rest of kind of college. So though you just have to get those first semester freshman year as long as you keep your GPA up, and then it helps you get on a schedule that you keep the rest of the time. And then I started doing soccer this year as well. So I'm doing soccer and basketball, and it's still kind of easy to like balance academics with those because your professors are really working with your schedule as well. Because most of our campus is athletes, so they understand like that you might have to like miss class for a game or something. So as long as you communicate with your professors, it's pretty easy to make up work that you might miss.
Excellent. Emily, do you have any questions that have came in through the chat?
Yeah, so we have one. It's is there someone from wrestling I can talk to about scholarships? So Jeremy, maybe you want to just talk a little bit about scholarships and also about athletic scholarships and how they differ from our merit and academic scholarships that we have.
Yeah, definitely. So being part of NCAA Division III, as far as being a Division III institution, we're not allowed to give athletic scholarships. However, I think what you will find is many times our merit-based and our need-based scholarships actually are just as good as many times receiving an athletic scholarship. In fact, I would sometimes argue it's even better because what you'll find with our academic scholarships at Simpson, those are renewable all 4 years. You don't lose that money if you decide to not play the sport, the next year. So it's a great opportunity for student athletes to continue doing something they enjoy. Cassie, one question I get a lot is, coming from high school, I think students sometimes all of a sudden they get to college and they realize I only have 2 classes a day. What am I going to do with my whole day? Can you walk us through maybe a typical day during the basketball or soccer season for you and kind of what all you have going on throughout the day?
Yeah, so when I was in basketball, all of my classes I had like in the morning, so I didn't have any classes past 1. Which was nice. And then, so for basketball, we would lift in the morning, usually around like 6:30. In a normal season, not COVID. We'd like lift in the morning, like 6:30, and then go to class. Most people would have like an 8 a.m. or at least morning classes. And then you get 2 or 3 classes knocked out. And then sometimes you'll have like individual like workouts, and then practice till about 6 p.m. at night, depending on the sport. And then after that is usually when you'll have time to do homework, or if you're like involved in like FCA or like other extracurriculars, you might have those in there. So usually at night is when homework would be getting done, unless you do have like your morning classes, and sometimes you'll have time between classes and like practice, depending on if you have like individual workouts in there.
Thank you. Emily, any other questions that came in?
No other questions.
Okay. Well, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us tonight. Obviously, I'd like to thank the presenters for joining us too and giving us information. I will tell you the best way to find out more about Simpson and Simpson Athletics is to make that visit to campus. Come and visit us, whether it's on an individual basis or one of our group visits. Take an opportunity to sit down and talk with Professor Busby or Coach Stromer. They'll definitely sit down and talk with you and give you more information about their prospective sport and just more about our sports medicine program, athletic training program, obviously our strength and conditioning. Last thing I'd like to mention, as I did before, stay connected with us, whether it's through any of our social media avenues. We'd love to hear from you, and hopefully we'll see all of you visiting campus soon. But thanks for joining us tonight.